I don't have an intro plan for this.
There you go.
I just thought I would drift through life and couch surf and see where I go.
Give me the beat, boys, and free my little soul.
Nope, that's not folk. Hi, folks. Get it?
I hear the Craig a-coming.
On today's episode of the Digital Drive-In Podcast, we're talking about Inside Llewyn Davis, the Coen Brothers film from 2013 starring Oscar Isaac, which deals with a folk singer who is depressed. It's basically, it's my life. I'm not Oscar Isaac, though, so I'm even more depressed.
You're even more different? Is that what you said?
I'm more depressed because I'm not Oscar Isaac. I'm also not a folk singer.
Do you have a cat?
Nope.
When people try to sing along to your songs, do you curse at them and make them feel bad?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So would I be John Goodman shooting up in the bathroom?
Yes. You're just John Goodman in general because you just yell at me and
I think your music's stupid and that's
tell really long stories that are
and hit you with my cane like Yoda.
Yeah. My name is Alex. I'm joined as always by my stupid ass co-host Garrett. I should think of adjectives ahead of time so I don't have to just do dumb ones. No, stupid ass works.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, my ass is pretty dumb. You told me the wrong name, and I thought that's why I said what to you the other day.
With what?
This is that guy's name, and that's not what you said at all.
What did I say?
I don't know, but it wasn't that.
I was making it up as I went along.
Because he's in Tron Legacy.
Yeah.
Idiot. It's Dwight, by the way.
Dillahunt is what I wrote. That's the wrong Garrett.
Yeah, so see, just because Garrett's the first name for both of them, don't mean that you can get them. All Garretts aren't the same. Okay.
Listen, all Garretts are fucking stupid. And you can hear that from me firsthand. Here we are.
Entertain us.
Boom.
Gosh.
So.
Yeah.
What is this movie that I forced you to watch? It's Star Wars prequel, isn't it?
I wish I could do an Adam Driver.
Oh. Space.
Please.
So this is the actual first Star Wars movie, right? Came out before Force Awakens, starring Oscar Isaac and Adam Driver.
Had actual directors and writers working on it.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about Inside Llewyn Davis and what exactly this little ditty is?
It's a week in the life of a young singer as he navigates the Greenwich Village folk scene of 1961.
Just read that off of IMDb.
Even though The Incredible Journey didn't come out until 1963, and he saw a poster of it at the coming attractions at the Marquee. So something is not right here.
It's an alternate history.
Well, yeah, because, Dylan, followed this guy? Come on.
Yeah, well, he's basically Dave Van Ronk. He's just not existent, so.
Dave Van Ronk.
Garrett, you didn't like this movie.
That's not true at all.
And now you do, because of me.
No.
The savior.
I originally rated it 4 stars.
Out of 10.
Well, the thing is, there were things, and watching it the second time doesn't remove the issues that this movie does have, but it's it minimizes the issues. Originally I was nothing really happens in this. There's no character arc.
Correct.
The way it starts is the way it ends. He's not a very likable protagonist because he basically doesn't treat anybody nice, and he just kind of stumbles through life. But he's not necessarily really. It's you kind of maybe question why he's motivated or what he's motivated by, because he kind of
facts about the movie here.
I know. I was just saying, I don't know what I expected.
Were you expecting just a Coen Brothers joint?
Oh no, that's
Something
the thing.
That was lighthearted.
The Coen Brothers have multiple different ways of telling stories. I think this is more similar to Bart and Fink.
Okay.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
Of course you haven't, because you fucking don't watch movies.
I've seen a lot of Coen Brothers movies.
It's kind of the same thing with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, where it's I felt like the serious parts and the silly parts almost didn't meld. But I think in this one, I kind of feel like maybe it fits a little bit better. It's like I see what once I got over the aspect of not knowing what was going to happen and just watching it as it was playing through, and then at the end kind of feeling like, oh, well, I don't know what that did for me.
Right.
Like after I got over that and realized that's the kind of movie it is, and just saw it for the kind of movie it is, it's like it's crafted extremely well, and Oscar Isaac does a fantastic performance. And there's so many like really interesting characters that just come and go in his story, and like there's no follow up or anything to it. It's just like they appear and then they disappear. And it's it creates a mood and an atmosphere, and they're not necessarily trying to say anything specifically.
Sure.
Like they're just like, this is something we're interested in. We want to show this from a made up amalgamation of a character, and just tell the story and just kind of plop you into this era of something that we enjoy or find interesting. And it's like I can definitely understand that and appreciate that. And I think watching it the second time, knowing what it is, helped me like it more and helped me like appreciate. I'm not paying so much attention to, well, where's the story going to go next, but I can pay attention to, they did so well with that part of the story. I liked it, and like I think I laughed more this time too, because I didn't take it as serious.
It is a funny movie, all things considered.
It
is
is
kind of depressing, but it's also pretty funny.
Well, I think it's kind of good they keep you somewhat at arm's length so that you're not necessarily going through all the things. Like some of the things you can definitely blame on Llewyn. Or and the reason I was getting his name confused was because John Goodman calls him Elwyn.
Right.
And I noticed that more this time. I'm like, right, okay, he was doing it more by the way it's spelled, and that's how like I was remembering it the way John Goodman was saying it.
You are a John Goodman.
That's it.
You hate everything.
Yes.
We play fucking 12 notes on the scale, not just 3 damn chords. G, 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 D.
I do think it's interesting, like there are a lot of characters that kind of like mirror Oscar Isaac's character, but they are doing things their own way. But they're like a lot of the people are like hard headed or like single driven.
Or I would say they're doing things the right way, maybe. In a way, they're not letting, I don't know, pride or I guess in some cases depression kind of judge or cloud some things.
See, I don't know, like it was like why was his dad in the home?
Right.
It's like it was his sister, right, that had the house.
Yeah.
Like she was kind of a bitch to him. I mean, not that he didn't deserve it by the way he treated her, the way he acted, but it was like she almost didn't accept him for who he was.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can tell he's kind of the guy that just rolls up every couple of months and asks for money.
Right, but it's sort of at the same time too, like, okay, their dad's in a home and she lives in the house and she's gonna sell it. So it's like we didn't see how they got to that decision. Like, did he do something to deserve not staying there? Or just,
I think she lives in a different house and they're selling their parents' house.
So the house that they were talking about buying isn't necessarily the house that she was in at that time?
No, yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case,
their parents' house.
Yeah, so like if that
has to go to the upkeep of his dad, because it's technically his dad's house, and since his dad is still alive, they don't get the money.
So it's one of those things, it makes me wonder, like, did Davis here like give his soul to the music industry, but wasn't getting what he wanted out of it? Like he wanted to be a pure artist, to just do things that way, and his partner is now gone from that equation. But it's like no one is necessarily giving him the support that he needs.
Yeah, or he doesn't let them.
Right, but it's sort of like it all comes back from something. Like he doesn't let them because maybe of how they treated him before. I mean, I'm not saying like he's blameless in any of this. It's like it's obvious that a lot of the problems that he has are problems that he caused.
Yeah.
And so, but it's like, it's not like everything, like all of life shitting on him isn't all his problem. It's like some of it is like he was trying to do what was good, but then the cat gets out, or he's trying to do what he wants, but then the guy's like, well, there's no money in this.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and it's like, he's told you should go see your dad. And so he does go and see him, but when he goes there, his dad just looks out the window and shits himself. You know, and it's like, or then he's like, I'm going to give up on music, and then I'm going to go do the Merchant Marines thing. But when he gets there, they're like, oh, well, you owe all this money. And so he pays the money. They're like, well, you still owe this money, you know, because of the things he didn't think you needed. So it was like, you can't get rid of the past because the past always comes back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Sort of a thing. So it's, again, it's like that whole aspect of a journey, but it's interesting. It's like his journey doesn't actually take him anywhere. It's just like circular.
Sure. Or does it?
That's up for debate.
Because he does say au revoir. As if almost to say goodbye to the life driving away from him as he moves towards something else. I don't know. I think a lot of it, when I watched the first time and the second, especially now, I find a lot of it stems from Mike's death, his partner.
Right.
There's some people that say they're a little more than friends. There's some implications of that. I don't know. But
boy, just like in Star Wars.
I see a lot of the problems Llewyn causes, or like some of the things he does are kind of brought upon by that. And he's not obviously not recovered from that.
Yeah, to me, it's like some of it is he takes music really seriously, and all the people he's involved with don't.
Yeah.
Because we have Vinny from Doogie Howser, who owns the bar. He only has it so that he can, like, fuck the girls that come in to sing at his place.
Yeah, he's a creep.
And then, like, Justin Timberlake's character just kind of is in it for maybe money or just trying to get the next hit. It doesn't seem like he's really seriously into it.
Sure, and then you have Adam Driver, who almost, like, he has a box full of records too. He almost is like the exact same as Llewyn, except without the depression.
Right. But that's the thing, is like, just like with the military guy, it's like they're not looking at music as like a career. They're almost doing it as like to make money.
Sure.
And it seems like that Oscar Isaac has like a need in him to do something or to say something. And it hasn't caused him to be successful. He doesn't have a place to live. He doesn't have like nice things. Like even the place that was considered a dump is like better.
Yeah.
You know.
He just gets shit on constantly.
He does.
Either by his own volition or from the universe, I suppose.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like we already know that the Times is there to watch Dylan's performance.
Yeah.
So it's like we know from history Dylan becomes like ridiculously popular and like maintains a movement within that community. But like Oscar Isaac, even if you take the character that he's kind of based on or the amalgamation of the characters, like hardly anyone outside of folk music knows who that guy is.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like I don't care anything at all about folk music, but I know who Bob Dylan is.
Right. Well, I almost wonder if it's like all the songs Llewyn plays especially at the bar, he makes that joke, right? If it's not new and it never gets old, and it's folk music.
Right.
But then like Dylan writes his own stuff.
Right.
Meanwhile, all Llewyn plays is the same thing every time he goes up. But also it's all traditional stuff. It's not anything he wrote. So I don't know if that has to do something with it as well, too. Maybe the reason Dylan got so popular was because it was his own stuff. But Llewyn isn't really shown performing anything of his own making.
Well, and I think some of it is the fact that like F. Murray Abraham said that like you need that connection with the audience.
Yeah.
And it's like constantly it's shown that he doesn't connect with the like the music part is a selfish thing for him.
Yeah,
And so it's like,
at some points, I almost wonder. I don't want to say is it better to give up creativity or something, but if you look at him during "Please, Mr. Kennedy," he seems to be having a great time playing that song. Right? I don't know if you can agree with that. He seems to be actually enjoying it.
I think Oscar Isaac enjoyed it. I don't know if his character is supposed to be enjoying it.
But he's given the opportunity to join up through F. Murray Abraham with 2 other people and play in another thing, which would give him financial security and also bump his name back into the spotlight, something he was talking about with his producer at one point, right? You need to build your name back up. You need to get back in like a duo thing.
Right.
So he's given that opportunity. But because he just wants to be on his own, he says no. Now he's scared of one of the partners in this new band jumping off of a too, and he's scared of being hurt again? Or is he just like so very much pursuing his own, like he wants to do his own thing, you know?
Right.
I don't know, because there's opportunities where there's moments where he's given opportunities to either fix his life or like leave past the town where his daughter's being raised, and he doesn't turn. He could go see it. Like they make a point of showing that sign or whatever, right, when he's driving back.
Right.
There's an opportunity as well too. But for whatever reason, he just takes none of the opportunities that come towards him, despite being given the opportunity a lot throughout the film for a better life. So I don't know. Part of me wonders, I really do think it all obviously goes back to Mike's death or whatever, but he maybe necessarily doesn't deal with that in the right way. And it's you also said he doesn't have the right support around him either.
Right.
But at the same time, he is a bit of a dick. So I think it's a lot of factors working together, but he is given opportunities. It's not black and white like music or Marine Merchant like he thinks it is.
Right.
But for some reason he just can't see that. Maybe, I don't know. This time around, this movie just fucking depressed me. This is such a sad movie. And I think this time it's just, I saw more so than before. I didn't see a struggling artist trying to get by and the music scene beating him down like I saw the first time I watched it. This time I just saw a very broken and very hurting man that has no ability to move on from what happened to him, despite trying his absolute hardest.
Right. I feel like the one line where it's like, maybe you should join your partner again or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Oscar Isaac's expression in that scene makes it seem like he's thinking, should I kill myself?
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that either.
Like, yeah, I should join him because like nothing is working. It's sort of like,
it's a Coen Black comedy, right? So
right.
I wouldn't doubt that was the intention of that line.
It seems like everything that the John Goodman character, like he puts like the hex on him,
mm-hmm.
the voodoo mama juju. I think that a lot of that comes across in the movie as like he doesn't have the ability to change what's going on in his life.
Sure.
Like something is presented to him which seems to be the thing that he's looking for. Like he put all the effort and paid money to go to Chicago. But then when he gets there and he doesn't hear the exact thing that he wanted to hear, he's like, well, I'm just going to give up on all of it and go back home.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it felt like it was a much longer time, I'm just going to go ahead and do it now. And it's like, so he had the opportunity to, things in New York weren't working out, to move to a new place, to have a gig, to be and perhaps part of a group again, maybe the Peter, Paul, and Mary thing. But instead of doing that, he goes back, and it's like, even though he's going back, he knows there's his progeny is somewhere.
Nice.
In Ohio. But instead of doing that, he decides to keep going down the road. He takes out perhaps maybe the same cat. you know,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting.
Swears at scrotum. Well, the cat is so representative, I think, of his spirit animal.
Right.
Just running from things.
Right, and that's the thing is like
But then he
running
kills
away.
it.
Well, it's like running away from the thing that was protecting you.
Right.
Like he was trying to get the cat back into the house, and he was going to wait until the people came back. But the cat was wanting to run away from this protection because it's just a wild animal. So it's kind of like anyone that could have helped him in his career or protected him, he was running away from because he didn't know any better.
And then he kills the cat.
Maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
the cat gets back up. I mean, it was bloody.
But is that the thing? Much like the cat, he gets beat, but he keeps going. At the end of the movie, he gets beat, and he keeps going.
But at the beginning of the movie, he gets beat.
That he keeps going.
But nothing changes.
Right. It's it's a portrait of a very broken man.
It's like that one, I don't remember what Greek thing it is, but it's the guy that like pushes the rock up the one side and it rolls back down.
I don't recall that either.
Why am I thinking of like Oedipus or something like that? Odious? I don't know.
No, isn't that where like he goes into hell or something to someone? I think this time around, the line that got me the most and that kind of solidified the whole idea of the movie, at least, I don't want to say like at least in this point in my life, but like as I'm watching it right now versus 5 years ago when I saw it for the first time, was I don't even remember who he's talking to. Is it Carey Mulligan? Where he just says, "I'm tired. I'm so fucking tired." And I just thought I needed more sleep, but I think it's more than that.
Yep.
And he just kind of leaves it at that. And that was where I kind of went like, okay, all of this is based off of his partner's death, and maybe he's finally realizing it. Because so many people tell him, you need to get back together with Mike, you need to find yourself a group to play with and all that, and maybe he hadn't dealt with it as best as he could yet. So maybe it's time for him to break the chain. And honestly, do you think the ending is uplifting? Do you think it's hopeful? Or do you think is downward spiral? Because he plays fairly well on stage, right? And it's the first time he plays it in its entirety without Mike, as if almost to say he's fine with it now and moving forward.
Well, it's not just that. So there's the song selection. Then there's the things he says to the guy that's beating him up. It's like, this isn't the opera. It's not that important. It's a show. People are supposed to yell out.
Yeah.
Like he's starting to say my viewpoint on how important this is in my life is beginning to change, and it doesn't mean as much as what I thought it did.
He says that at the beginning too.
Yeah. But the interesting thing is it is two different shots.
Yeah.
Like they actually shot it again.
It's the same
rather
scene, but it's like
right. They didn't use the same footage.
Right.
Yes. So I think that's interesting that they decided to. It's like maybe this time he's actually learned his lesson, and that's why. Like, how I would personally view it is that it's neither hopeful nor pessimistic. He's starting to understand that this is just the way it's going to work, and he's accepting. It's his acceptance of life is shit.
Okay, yeah.
That it's not, he's just who he is.
Right, because he obviously didn't take any of the deal or anything.
Right.
To have a better life, but he also didn't, kill himself. So he's finally just like settling into what the world is like now.
Well, Dylan said times they are a changing.
That's the thing, right? Like, folk is about to go fucking ballistic. So maybe he's there? We don't know, because we don't see anything past this film, right?
Well, that's the thing.
The times were there. What if they wrote down, like, Dylan was obviously incredible, going to be a star, and his opening act, or whatever you want to call it, too, is something also not to be missed.
I have a feeling, though, that him signing away his rights to the big song so that he didn't get any royalties. That is the movie showing that this is a temporary thing, that he's not going to be sustained from it.
Right.
So it's like the things that you know are going to happen, how popular and how big things are going to be, he's actually not going to have any part in it.
That's true. Which, again, like I was saying, Dave Van Ronk, right? A lot of people don't know who that is. And if I'm bringing it up and anyone's listening to this doesn't know who that is, this movie is kind of inspired by his life or his career. He was a folk singer around this time, made a lot of songs, including an album called Inside Dave Van Ronk, which has the exact same album art as Inside Llewyn Davis does.
And had a kitty on the cover, too.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of album arts, I find it's a fun fact that that's the only time that the title appears on the screen in the entire film is when the record is shown on the desk, including in the credits, including at the end of the credits. Inside Llewyn Davis is never actually said. I think that's kind of a way of like, this isn't a movie, almost. You're just meant to be watching a life, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Coen Brothers like to play with the way storytelling is.
Sure. Anything else in that section?
I can't think of anything specifically.
Okay, well, you talked about Oscar Isaac.
What did you think about his singing voice?
I like it. I think it's good. I don't know what you want me to say. He can play guitar pretty well. I like how this movie actually, all of the performances are all legit. They're not sounded over.
Yeah, because they were performed live.
Yeah, which I know annoys the dick off of you when it's just played over.
Yep.
But unless Lynch does it, then it's fine.
Whatever, he doesn't do that either.
He did it in Return.
What are you talking about?
That's not a new version of Just You.
Oh, no, I don't care about that. I meant the all the bands were actually recorded live.
Yes, that stuff, yeah. But I think it works in this movie a lot. I love all of the songs in this movie, I think, but he does a good job playing the stuff and singing the stuff too. But I think he's a better guitar player than he is a singer. But what about you, Mr. I Hate Folk Music?
No, I mean, the thing is, the fact that he is not refined, actually benefits his character, because that's why it didn't take off.
Well, listen to Dave Van Ronk, dude. It's very rough and gravelly.
Yeah, I mean, because when Oscar Isaac was first brought in, the guy played Tom Waits for him.
Right.
So it's like they were going for a very specific type of thing. It's just that it's not my type of thing, but I like percussion. And
sure.
And even on the live special feature of this, they had a guy beating on a Kleenex box. They had one guy that had a snare, but it was muffled. But I mean, yeah, it's the kits aren't a thing in bluegrass.
No,
so,
no.
You know,
lots of that one guy ripping on the cello. Did you see that?
Yeah,
he was into it.
Oh yeah, and that's it's like music is also art, and it just is certain things speak to certain people, and there are a lot of even with country music is there's a certain way of speaking that talks to a large percentage of people, and it's completely fine that it doesn't necessarily speak to me.
There's something about live stuff too feels a lot more authentic, obviously, but it's really easier, I think, to appreciate it when it's live because you see kind of the performance aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, because I've been to a lot of concerts,
mm-hmm.
and it's like I was telling you, I really like Jack White. I mean, it's there are people in it that are obviously really talented.
Now we're talking about the
really
concert film now, not the actual movie. Jack White's not in the movie, unfortunately.
That would have been great.
Yeah. But Justin Timberlake is in the movie. He plays 2 songs.
Dick in a Box.
Yep. That's one of them.
And Jizzed in My Pants.
What'd you think of him? He actually plays 3 songs. What'd you think of those songs?
Well, first I like Justin Timberlake. I think he's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's
a weirdly good actor when he's given the right material.
Well, I mean, he was in Social Network too. He's been in a lot of really good movies.
Yep.
But it's he has talent as a singer. He also knows when I think he has an interesting sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of like knows when to act out and when not to. It's his Kennedy in space, and then the Quack Quack Duck song is hilarious. And he has range
As an actor or as a singer?
as a singer.
Yes,
As
definitely.
a singer, he has great range.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 second, please. Uh-oh. What about Adam Driver?
Adam Driver is fucking hilarious.
Adam
I
Driver
wish he was in it more.
he may be the best character in this movie, which is usually par for the course for anything Adam Driver's in. But especially in this one, this is, I think, the first time I saw him. Somehow he looks older in this movie than he does in like Marriage Story. But
it's the facial hair.
yeah. When he meows at the cat, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And he just goes right back to talking. I agree. I wish he was in it more. I wish he had a solo song, but I don't think he likes singing. But
see, I saw him in Francis Ha before this.
yeah, I saw Francis Ha after this.
Okay.
I have seen it though, asshole.
Jesus.
Yeah. Then there's what about Carey Mulligan?
She was fine. She was really one note. I think she was kind of underwritten.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you're seeing her character from Oscar Isaac's point of view, then I think she works perfectly because it's like he just thinks she's a bitch.
Sure. There's that whole monologue she kind of has with "You're shit. You should walk around wearing a giant full body condom because you're so shit."
And it's like it's funny, but it's like Oscar Isaac is this complex character where it's like his motivations are questionable, and then Carrie is just kind of like, I think this one way, and that's the only thing that's my character.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
it's kind of underwritten, but I think for a reason a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and then it's like she's so mad at him, but then obviously she sleeps around with like fucking everybody. So then it's like, well,
and she's okay with him at the end of the movie too.
Well, not saying that women can't be like that.
Well, she's supposed to be in a relationship too, and it's about to be the hippie movement anyway. A lot of the non-singing characters I find awesome or hilarious. One of which is Mel, his Llewyn's original record producer,
and his secretary too.
And his secretary. The one bit they have where they're like looking for the file, and they're just
I have it.
Do you have it?
What?
Can I have it?
You want me to bring it to you?
Yeah, bring it over.
I'm gonna go ahead and just bring it over.
Okay, I need it now. So it's so funny, everything they do. But that's kind of doubled down to later with F. Murray Abraham. We kind of talked about him already. He's not in it for very long, but he brings the house down, as is usual for F. Murray Abraham.
Yep.
He even brings up at one point, "Oh, you're signed with Mel? Well, you must not be seeing a cent," which is kind of funny. But again, like, why doesn't Llewyn take his offer? But
or get other representation, or
Garrett Hedlund and John Goodman are a nice little tangent. Adds a little bit of that, like, Coen Brothers borderline surrealism, I guess. I don't know. To it.
Yeah, because they're very different characters, and they're only in it for a short period of time. But
they literally feel like, to be honest, barring the accents, they walk out of Fargo and into this movie.
Yeah, I can see that. So,
I would bet money on them literally being in the Fargo TV universe. So, because at least that, like, the movie's all accents all the time, but the show's not. Which is kind of interesting, They rock in Garrett Hedlund's character's name is Johnny Five, and he's like a fucking...
He's a robot with a laser.
Yeah, well, pretty much. Post 50s greaser, basically.
Yeah, he's James Dean.
Leather jacket, yeah. Can I have a cigarette? I'm all out. And then he's smoking, and like literally the next shot.
And then we got Dr. John. You don't know who that is, do you?
Nope. Don't forget me, I'm Dr. B.
Click on that real quick.
Oh my god, you gave me malware.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. not loading.
How is that not? Oh, just in
There
Google
it is.
Images.
Oh my god, it looks like him.
I told you.
That's funny.
And he was like a musician and everything too, obviously.
Huh.
So every time I saw him, I was like, "That's Dr. John." I mean, it probably
But
is.
like, what do you
But
think of
it's
John as a piece
I-
of shit?
I love John Goodman.
He's honestly, he totally steals every movie he's in.
I don't think I've seen John Goodman give a bad performance.
I would agree with you. He's hilarious in The Big Lebowski. That's probably my favorite John Goodman. I don't know about you.
My favorite John Goodman.
Sully from Monsters Inc.
He's really good in that. He's fantastic in 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh yes, should have won an Oscar for that.
I mean, I love him in Raising Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
I did like him in Argo, even though that movie's pretty stupid. I think him and Alan Arkin did a good job together.
Well, they're just great in general.
Yeah.
Argo,
So,
fuck yourself.
I really liked him in Matinee, where he was the movie studio guy. Not studio, but like the theater owner.
Okay, I haven't seen that one.
He's been in a lot of shit.
He's great in everything.
I like him.
So, did he shoot up in the bathroom? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I thought he was lactose intolerant, to be honest. I thought that's what happened. Because he mentions it earlier. He's like, it was so stuffed full of cheese that I was shooting out of every orifice. So I thought that happened at the restaurant again. I like all the shots of him like hobbling to the bathroom on his own.
Well, that's the thing. Like
what the fuck?
He had the armband on, where he was like cutting it off to shoot up.
Right. Just wild. Just a weird ass movie sometimes where like some of these characters are just like off the wall. Mostly those two, but is there any other side characters that are?
Well, you have the was it the Gore Finds?
Oh yeah, she probably is the best line in the movie, to be honest.
Well, and even the guy has been in a bunch of stuff too.
Where's his scrotum?
Because he was in a whole bunch of Star Trek Voyager episodes.
Yeah, he's in a ton. I like how both the scenes with them are very similar. Llewyn walks in, is introduced to two friends. This is my musician friend, and then he's asked to play something or something, whatever.
Yeah, I like where he's like, "What if I had you do a lecture?"
Yeah, yeah. There's a whole cast of this like characters that he couch hops with, I guess, and we get to meet them all. Kind of interesting, his like little circle of friends and how many of them hate him. But do they hate him or do they actually love him?
A little bit of both.
Which is par for the course.
So the guy that played the abortion doctor played Cave Dweller in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Jesus. Cave Dweller? What the hell's that mean?
This is the guy that lives in the cave.
No, there's nobody that lives in the. Who lives in the dead?
Yeah, there is a guy that lives in the cave. In the single player.
When's that?
He comes out. He's like he's naked, and tries to attack you.
Oh God! They did the mocap and everything.
For you.
I think we're missing the biggest supporting character. Cat.
The cat. Oh, it was like 8 different cats. The first time I saw it, that's what confused me because I'm like, none of these cats look the same. These aren't the same cats.
Maybe it was never the same cat in any of the stuff. Every time he puts it down, it runs away and another one comes back.
That's
but
great.
What did you think of the reveal of you being the name, even though you'd already seen the movie?
It's fine.
You don't think it makes perfect thematic sense?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I already saw "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," where they were already doing that story.
Yeah.
So it wasn't.
Odysseus. That's a joke.
Okay, that's real funny.
Yeah, obviously. That's why you laughed so hard. I'm gonna edit together all of the laughs that you've had in the whole episode, and I'm gonna put them in a row after that joke, so that you laugh for like 3 minutes straight, and then that'll be.
And then you should also put in the laugh that Jabba the Hutt does. I wish I
That's
could
just your
remember what it
laugh
was that he
normal,
says.
though.
Chewbacca.
You gotta have that little thing in the corner.
Yeah, that's you.
Yep. Oh no. This movie sucks.
When did Oscar Isaac do? Okay, Ex Machina was the next year, so that's probably why he had his hair all shaved.
That's what, for in the concert film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna text you that. It'd be like he was off shooting it.
Where he
Shut
was
up.
trying to play Kubrick.
Yep. So you think now that he's done with Star Wars, he's gonna go back to doing this stuff?
No,
Okay,
no,
fair enough.
I think it's big movies from here on out, starting with Dune.
Well, is Dune a big movie?
Is Dune a big movie?
It's like Blade Runner, right? It's not like franchise.
Was Blade Runner a big movie?
I don't know. Define big. Big in budget, or big in
If that's the
box
case,
office
yes.
potential?
How much budget does Dune have?
I would wager 100 plus. Definitely more than $10. Dune 2020 budget, 40 million.
It's got to be more than that.
Nope, that's David Lynch's. When I say into my phone, Dune 2020 budget, and it doesn't do it, you know. Oh, because it's not out yet, they haven't actually the budget. But apparently, it's comparable to Nolan's stuff.
So 200 million?
I would imagine less, but yeah. 150, 100.
What was Blade Runner?
100, I think. 150. I feel like Oscar Isaac coming out of Star Wars is like, but where's my marriage story? He's like, Alex Garland, please give me a new project.
Well, but I mean, he was in a bunch of air quotes, art films before.
Yeah. That's why. So was Adam Driver. So now I don't want Oscar Isaac to be dropped like John Boyega is going to get dropped and Daisy is going to get dropped. Where they're probably not going to have careers post Star Wars. Know what I mean? Thankfully, he has this and some other stuff to bank on. Just kidding. He'll be fine.
Well, I mean,
he has a major role in Dune. Does he not? Is not Duke Leto not a very big role?
But I mean, he was in Drive, so he's worked with Nicholas Winding Refn, and then he worked with the Coen Brothers, and then he worked with Alex Garland
twice,
and then whoever did A Most Violent Year.
Yeah.
But then he was in Lego. He was in Lego Star Wars, but he was in X-Men Apocalypse.
Goddamn, yeah, I forgot about that. Did you ever hear that? He signed on because he wanted to do a mocap thing, and then they stuck him in prosthetics, and he's like, I can't move. He really, really wanted to do mocap CGI Andy Serkis style, and then they stuck him in 40 feet of makeup and armor, and he hated it. And he can't move, and he can't speak in that movie, and that movie's garbage.
Then he also did the voice of Gomez Addams in the new Addams Family movie.
That is true. He didn't do that. He's a star. If anything, he's going to be the star coming out of this. Star Wars, I mean. While Adam Driver takes all the indie projects, he'll be doing bigger stuff. But good bigger stuff, you know?
Yeah, could be.
You just disagree with me. I mean, you don't want to say it. You're like, nobody's going to come out of Star Wars.
I mean, the thing is, Adam Driver does a good job playing regular people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how well he would do playing interesting people. I can't see him being a lead in a Panos movie.
God. I could.
I mean, I would like to see that, but...
Have you seen any of his stuff with Jim Jarmusch?
No.
I haven't either, but I heard he's pretty good in Patterson and stuff like that. Which is kind of off the ball, which I'm kind of referring to.
That's fair.
It's not quite like a normal person, like his stuff with Bomback, but it's like not, Mandy.
Because it looks like he has 2 movies coming out in 2020.
What are they? Stinky?
Ridley Scott called The Last Duel.
Oh yeah,
So it's
a dueling movie.
Yeah, so it's like a night movie with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in it too.
They're writing it as well.
Yep. And then Annette, stand-up comedian, and his opera singer wife have a 2-year-old daughter with a surprising gift.
That's gonna be crap. I can already tell just by the sound of it. From the director of Holy Motor.
And Movazang. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I actually own that movie and I've seen it.
Oh. So maybe it will be good. And I'm an idiot.
I don't know. Because that movie was from 86.
Maybe it'd be bad and I'm right.
So
Oscar Isaac has a lot of stuff coming out.
I mean, Adam Driver was in Black Klansman, so he's worked with Spike Lee.
That's a great movie. Oh, also Oscar Isaac and then Into the Spider-Verse. He'll probably be in number 2 because he's Spider-Man 2077. That's a good movie. You're an ass. Those were 2 unrelated statements. Do you have anything else on Inside Llewyn Davis, or do you want to do a wrap-up? We did, I broke them up into more points. We did most of the points when we were talking off the top.
Yeah. I should have been looking at the list rather than just talking. But
it's better to just talk and hit the list things than to have it be structured.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I would rather it be just a fluent conversation than shut up, we have to move on to get to this before the end of the show.
I mean, I think the Coens are maybe even underrated directors.
Okay.
Because they
maybe underappreciated by audiences, but they're pretty.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look on IMDb, Llewyn Davis.
Llewyn Davis, yeah. You're not funny.
Is 7.5.
Yeah, but that's voted on by people, right?
As opposed to chickens, I guess.
As opposed to critics, I don't know. Depends on how you.
But I mean, their movie after that, Hail Caesar, was looked at terrible.
I don't like
Buster Scruggs got 7.3.
Llewyn Davis is a 93 on Metacritic, which is really high.
What about True Grit?
That's really high. True Grit has an 80 on Metacritic. Inside Llewyn Davis is their best film according to Metacritic. 2 points over No Country for Old Men.
Fuck that.
It's so close and they're so comparable.
I would say that The Lady Killers is a weak movie of theirs.
56 on Metacritic. So they would agree is what I mean. You look at they have user scores as well here. So Llewyn Davis is 7 points. No Country for Old Men apparently is to be determined.
But it's The Man Who Wasn't There is one of the greatest neo-noir movies of the modern era.
Yeah. This is 73 on Metacritic.
See?
Sure. That's actually pretty good. That's a high rate. Metacritic is fucking... It's tough.
Hudsucker Proxy is good.
They consider a 66 in the green. That's a good score on Metacritic. In the green. Hudsucker Proxy is a 53 on Metacritic.
See?
You picked the one. Big Lebowski is a 70. Go has an 85. True Grit is an 80. They wrote Bridge of Spies? I didn't know. Oh, for some reason I didn't know that. They probably wrote a draft. Interesting. Anyway, I would agree they're a little understated.
Understated? That's not even what I said.
Yeah, it means almost the same thing, you shit.
I mean, one of their movies that they wrote isn't even available in the U.S.
Which one
only came out in the U.K., Gambit, in 2012.
Ooh, based off the Marvel Comics.
No.
Yes.
No, it's a Colin Firth movie.
Mm-mm.
Pretty sure it's a remake of a 60s movie.
Pretty sure you're a remake of a 60s fucking...
Okay.
Should we go to negative user scores for Inside Llewyn Davis?
If you want.
No, it's just going to be a bunch of this doesn't
I
happen.
mean, you said it was one of the best movies or the best movie of 2013, didn't you?
Yeah, it is the best movie. An execrable pile of offensive nonsense. Total jerk and animal. Possibly the Coens' worst, subverting their main character at every opportunity without a shred of redemption. A horrendous pistache shrinks to a pinpoint of depressing nastiness. Not even remotely a convincing recreation of life in the village circa 1960. Awful, awful, awful. 0 out of 10. That's the only one I'm going to read. The end. That's how I feel about the movie, too. End of. Well, do you have anything else for this movie?
I thought you said it was over.
No.
Dick Basak.
So, are you glad that you bought it and rewatched it?
No.
Can you be serious? For the end of the show, you bitch.
No.
Oh my god.
Yes. I mean, I liked it before. I just didn't think it was like one of their best.
Sure.
But I can appreciate it for what it is.
Well, alright. Maybe if you like folk a little more, it would hit with you a little bit more.
Well, that's why next time we're doing a folk movie that I want to do.
Oh my god. I'm gonna hate it. Just kidding. I like most movies.
Wow, I felt really bad there for a second.
All right. Well, I guess we like this movie quite a bit. Otherwise, we wouldn't have talked for an hour and whatever. So if you haven't seen it, I'm here because we spoiled the whole thing. But you should probably watch it anyway. And it might pop up on a best of the decade. Mostly from me, as Garrett criticizes my film choices again. And if you like the show, you can follow us both on Twitter. Me at Alex's Reviews. You can follow Garrett at Garrett Donardo. You can follow the show at digital_podcast. You can also subscribe to our channel, of course. And leave us a like and a comment if you do like and want to comment on the show. Maybe recommend a movie to us and we'll tell you no, we're not going to do that. If you want to follow us on Letterboxd, get an idea of an upcoming episode if we watch something at the same time, or just want to stalk our movie watches, you can do that. Links to those are in the description below. And yeah, next week we'll be doing another folk movie, a little back-to-back doubleheader. What's that one called again, Garrett?
A Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind from 2003? What is it?
I don't know. Fuck.
Okay, whatever. It's a newer movie, isn't it? Not old.
2003.
Oh, what a fucking guess. What a fucking guess comes in clutch with it. Anyway, I don't care anymore. I'm tired.